we have our team members. Cassie's with social work. Pam and Leah are with nursing, and then
Can you turn your volume up some more?
Okay, Pam and Leah.
Vince, turn your TV down. You turn your television down.
My TV ain't up.
Sorry.
Okay.
And then
right.
Aaron here is kind of a team member that's going to be helping with Miss Blevins, and he's a point person if she were to need anything outside of our clinic. So those are all the voices that you'll hear. And we had just started because Miss Blevin was asking, and she phrased the question very interestingly. She said, "Have you found anything physically wrong with me?" And we were starting to review everything that had been done for her. First of all, blood pressure looks good today, so we're happy about that, about 140s over 80s. And as part of the workup, we looked at some imaging of her brain, and I was just talking about that. There was an MRI, and there was actually a follow-up CT after she had been in the car accident. And so we did not, the things we're looking for is a major stroke or bleed, and we did not see that. We did see some chronic small vessel disease, and so that happens just the way you can get little blockages and backups in your heart. You can also get that in the vessels of your brain. And so what we recommend for that is primary care follow-up, blood pressure control, controlling high cholesterol, things of that nature. So we did not see anything that would explain difficulty with memory or thinking on her MRI. We have also looked at lab work via myself, primary care, and the ER to make sure her body was looking healthy in regards to her thyroid, her kidneys, and 2 vitamin levels, which is the vitamin B12 and folate. And so those were normal. So we didn't find any reason from a lab standpoint that would cause difficulty with memory and thinking. So let me stop. That's a lot of information. Any thoughts, Ms. Blevins?
I was listening at you talking and telling him these things, and that's good, and makes me feel good that your interest enough. You found interest enough as I was coming here, and to think about these things to help me, and that's the main thing. And the reason I'm here is because I want to know everything what's going on about myself. I know I pray a lot. I love the Lord. I love the Lord. I'm going to tell you just like it is. I'm a child of God. And I don't care. You can be a child of God, but still there's a right and wrong in you. And you as the person would know that for yourself and to ask God for forgiveness if you know that you have sinned or done something wrong.
Okay.
And we can overeat and sin.
Sure.
The small things that will become big things that you don't, that you do yourself. You don't have to lay down with a man or anything.
Okay.
Mama? Oh, go ahead.
Well, and I do have, so then the last piece of the puzzle is the neuropsychological testing. And so this is multiple tests. It takes about a half an hour or 45 minutes. And it just kind of gives us an idea of the strengths and weaknesses of how you think.
Okay.
Because we all have strengths and weaknesses. And
I can't hear you.
Oh. I don't
Vince, I can hear. I don't know what's going on with your phone. Is your phone turned up? Because I hear fine.
My phone is wide open, y'all.
Okay, I can hear her.
Okay, good.
I can hear you good, too.
Okay, well, you're going to have to do something with your phone because I can hear.
All right. I heard Mama talking one time.
Okay. Put your ear up to the phone real good.
Okay.
All
Right. So does anyone, I do want to tell you about the neuropsychological testing results, and I think that's very helpful, but there's been a lot of information. Any concerns at this moment?
I'm sorry, doctor, you said the neuropsychological testing, it shows shows the strength and weakness of the what?
Of how you think and your memory.
Okay. Okay. So think. Okay. Okay. I'm just waiting for you to elaborate on that.
Okay, very good. I can do that. So basically, let me tell you the conclusion, and then we can get into more specifics.
Okay.
So the conclusion is that the patient's memory and thinking is impaired, and to the point where we give the diagnosis Alzheimer's dementia.
Okay.
And we have a picture here, and that Miss Blevins and Yvette can see. And so
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the picture, but so her memory and thinking is in the red circle here. And so she has major difficulties with memory and thinking. And she was almost impaired at every level. So the test will look at different things. It will look about how easily words come to you. It will look about short-term memory, delayed memory, how you name things, how you follow multiple step commands. And she was pretty much impaired across the board. The only thing that was within normal limits was naming things easily. Other than that, she had a major problem with memory, and especially delayed memory was severely impaired. And then her executive function was severely impaired to the point where she could not complete multi-step tasks.
Okay. And so what do you recommend for this?
Well, first let's take a moment and see, we'll certainly talk about that. What can I answer or address for you or for Miss Blevins here?
So the name of whatever's going on is Alzheimer's and dementia. She has both.
Yes, so Alzheimer's is a type of dementia,
Okay.
and it's the most common type.
Okay.
The second most common
And so, can I ask this question? So how long has she been in this state? Could you tell me that?
That's a good question. This is my second time meeting her, so I cannot give you an exact answer, but I would say, it's been going on for some time, months to maybe even years. I would say she's in the moderate stage of disease.
Okay.
Moderate to bordering severe.
Okay. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So is she able to live alone?
That's a good question. My recommendation is no. I would say 24-hour supervision, living with family. As you guys have already realized, she needs major supervision with medication.
Okay, that was my concern.
And when she goes to the doctors, the family needs to be in the room listening to what the doctor is saying and taking those instructions and making sure that we carry them out. Is Miss Blevins driving?
No.
Okay.
I haven't drove in years.
Okay.
No, she doesn't drive.
Okay. Very good.
Oh,
Any questions or thoughts?
I'm all
right. I'm all right.
You got any questions?
Oh, she talking to me? I thought she
Yeah.
talking to.
Any questions for you?
Well, I'm not afraid to be by myself, and if
Mom, it's not about you being afraid about being by yourself. You've got to have somebody around with you.
but the only thing is that I live alone. I live alone, and if anybody want to come to stay, I'll be glad to have somebody come to stay or go with them.
She doesn't want to leave her house.
But I just I love living alone, and I would love to have somebody in the house, and I love to be with someone, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm gonna be really honest. The only one that I would want to live with would be my oldest son, and that's Vincent.
He's on the phone.
Okay,
That's the only one,
okay,
and it would be Vincent.
okay.
I have, when I go to Virginia, I have many times stayed there with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like I was at home, in my own home. He's my oldest child. His father died when he was young, very young, about 5 or 6.
Okay.
And
But
he's a
doctor,
good child,
doctor,
and he's a good child.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
child.
mama, doctor, and mom, I guess. But mom, I know, mom, this is Yanni.
I
Can
know
you hear
it
me?
is. I know it's Yanni.
But the doctor is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, the doctor is saying that you shouldn't be living alone. You should
Y'all
be.
understand that. Y'all have told
So,
me that.
doctor, there's no, so her even living with someone sounds like that's not an option, that she needs to be in a facility?
Well,
That we're, is that, or am I wrong?
if we're
Can you,
working.
can you clarify that?
so I
Can she
can.
live with one of us, and we, because
So
that's my question.
I would very much like it if she could live with family, and then we could try to get some services in the home to and watch for safety issues. And if we cannot get coverage, and if there are major safety concerns, then I think it's appropriate to think about a facility. Right now, with the right setup, there is potential for her to be in a home with family.
Okay.
Like if that person works.
I think if that person works, I think we need to see and so I can only speak for Indianapolis, Indiana, and what services we have available. So
Right.
I don't know about Chicago or Virginia, but I'm sure there's similar programs everywhere.
Yeah.
It would be nice if there could be people to come into the home to check on her,
Yeah.
whether
Check on her. Yeah.
it be family or friends in the area, people you hire, or people who we can somehow get medical insurance to cover.
Right.
I can't make any promises in regards to what we can get insurance to cover. But I would much rather trial that than rushing into a facility.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now, I have a question. We had a situation just last month where we took her to Virginia and she stayed with Vince. That's on the phone, but she did not want to be there, so they brought her back here. So, in those situations where she doesn't want to go, and we take her anyway, it was very hard on them.
Right.
So, in those situations, how do you handle it?
That's a very good question, and I don't think there's necessarily a right answer. There is going to be regardless of location, there's going to be a transitional period of at least 2 weeks of developing a new routine, and I would encourage you to try to stick it out as much as possible. And also so Cassie has a big binder of information and tips, but one of our uniform tips would be, as long as she's safe, allow her to do what she wants within reason. Obviously I know medications are a she can eat how she wants to eat. She can do what she wants to do as long as she's being safe about it. I would try to minimize conflict.
So you feel in your heart that I shouldn't be by myself?
I do.
Well, if I'm going to go any place, I want to go back to Virginia. If I'm going any place, I'm going home. I'm going home where my family is, and I'm going to Vincent's. My son, Vincent. He's my oldest child, and I've stayed with him before. And
Well,
Mom, you ready to come? You can come anytime you get ready. I can try to tell you that.
That's what he says.
and I'm